Sports Buzz. I'm Deepika Jaswal, getting you all the latest from the world of sports, only on www.clicksportsnow.com. Let's take a quick look at the headlines.
India, South Africa, West Indies and Sri Lanka in World T20 semis. Djokovic and Serena win Miami titles. Malaysian Grand Prix joy for Hamilton. Bayern Munich crown Bundesliga champions. And Vishwanathan Anand wins Candidates Chess Tournament 2014.
With the Super 10s round of World T20 done and dusted, the stage is set for the knockouts. India will take on World Cup underachievers South Africa, while West Indies booked a date with Sri Lanka in the semi-finals.
India, the first team to enter the semi-finals of the ICC World T20 in Bangladesh, will face South Africa in the last four. India kicked off their World T20 campaign with a bang, defeating arch rivals Pakistan by 7 wickets. West Indies, who were the defending champions, were also thrashed by India by 7 wickets. The 2007 champion then humbled host Bangladesh to book their berth in the semi-final. India played Australia in a dead rubber and stayed unbeaten with another 73-run victory. South Africa finished second in their group after Sri Lanka leapfrogged them on net run rate following their convincing 59-run win over New Zealand in the virtual quarterfinal. Defending champions West Indies qualified for the semi-finals of the ICC World T20 after an 84-run victory in their make-or-break clash with Pakistan. In a contest which was effectively a straight knockout for the one remaining place in the last four, the Windies progressed after bowling their opponents out for just 82. Dwayne Bravo and Darren Sammy were the stars of the show as West Indies recovered from a shaky start to post a total of 166 for 6. The target proved far too much for Pakistan as Shamul Badri returned with figures of 3 for 10 from his 4 overs to help the 2012 winners book a semi-final date with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka reached the semi-final of the World T20 thanks to a Rangana Herath-inspired 59-run victory over New Zealand in their final Group 1 fixture. Bowled out for 119 after being asked to bat, Sri Lanka successfully defended their modest total, with left-arm spinner Rangana Herath claiming figures of 5 for 3 as New Zealand were dismissed for 60 in reply.
Sun, sand, Djokovic and Williams were the themes in Miami this weekend as the four reigned supreme. Djokovic steamrolled past Rafael Nadal while Serena Williams clinched her Miami title for the 7th time.
Novak Djokovic clinched his 4th Miami title after cruising to a 6-3, 6-3 victory over Rafael Nadal in the final of the Sony Open Tennis. The Serbian made his move halfway through the first set and did not relinquish control thereafter as he dominated the world number 1 in the 40th meeting between the two. The second seed did not drop even a serve in the contest but broke Nadal on 3 occasions to clinch the win in an hour and 24 minutes. Djokovic, who has now beaten Nadal in the last 3 times they've met, also completed the Indian Wells Miami double for the second time. Serena Williams won her 7th Miami title after clinching a 7-5, 6-1 victory over Lena in the final of the Sony Open Tennis. In a battle between the top 2 players in the world, Williams battled past Australian Open champion in just under 2 hours at Crandon Park. Venus had to recover from a slow start, however, the American going 4-2 down to her Chinese opponent in the opening set. But the 17-time Grand Slam champion finally sparked into life and reeled off 5 games in a row to win the first set. The defending champion then raced into a 5-1 lead thanks to 2 breaks of serve and wrapped up the contest by taking her 5th match point. Former world number 1 Martina Hingis won her first title in 7 years when she partnered Sabine Lisicki to win the women's doubles at Miami. Hingis and Lisicki, who entered the tournament as wildcard entry, beat second-seeded Russians Ekaterina Makarova and Elina Vesnina 4-6, 6-4, 10-5. The final was the first for the 33-year-old Hingis since she came out of retirement last year to play doubles and was her first win since Doha in 2007.
Former world champion Lewis Hamilton showed glimpse of his past as he dominated the Malaysian Grand Prix. Teammate Nico Rosberg came in second to complete a Mercedes 1-2.
Lewis Hamilton took a dominant win in the Malaysian Grand Prix to lead Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg to a 1-2 finish. The Briton was in control from the start, converting his pole position into a lead at the first corner and controlling the race. Rosberg was unable to keep up and concentrated on ensuring he stayed ahead of Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel. Ferrari's Fernando Alonso took 4th after Red Bull's Daniel Ricciardo hit trouble. Force India's Nico Hülkenberg was 5th. Hamilton dedicated the win to the families of the passengers lost in the disappearance of flight MH370. World champions Red Bull enjoyed and endured a bittersweet day with Vettel's return to the podium, offset by a bitter disappointment of Daniel Ricciardo as the Australian youngster running in 4th suffered a pit stop calamity. Fernando Alonso, the cunning old fox of the field, took full advantage of Ricciardo's misfortune at an early stop of his final stint to snatch 4th out of the grasp of the ever-impressive Nico Hülkenberg. Kimi Raikkonen fared even worse after suffering a puncture on the first lap of the race after being hit from behind by Kevin Magnussen, an offense that triggered a dry drive-through penalty for the McLaren rookie. Remarkably, Magnussen recovered to claim 9th, albeit 3 places behind teammate Jenson Button and 1 ahead of fellow rookie Daniel Kvyat in the Toro Rosso, all of which left post-race intrigue focused on Williams after Felipe Massa refused to obey instructions to let Valtteri Bottas through and opted to hang on to a rebellious 7th.
It was a big week in European football as German giants Bayern Munich were crowned Bundesliga champions in record time. The English champions Manchester United were silenced by noisy neighbours Manchester City, while star-studded Real Madrid were taught a lesson by Barcelona in the El Clasico.
Bayern Munich wrapped up their 24th Bundesliga title in record time with a 3-1 win at Hertha Berlin. Toni Kroos and Mario Götze netted inside the first 15 minutes to put Pep Guardiola's men on their way. Although Adrian Ramos pulled a goal back from the penalty spot midway through the second half, Frank Ribery's 79th minute goal wrapped up the win in style and gave them the crown with 7 games to spare. Elsewhere in Europe, 2 Edin Dzeko goals helped Manchester City to a 3-0 derby win at United, lifting them to the second place in the Premier League. The Bosnian striker was on the score sheet just after 42 seconds. United's defence was in disarray as Fernandinho passed left for Samir Nasri, and although the Frenchman's shot hit the post, the lurking Dzeko netted from close range. Dzeko then made it 2-0 after he timed his run brilliantly to beat Rio Ferdinand and connected with a corner from Nasri. United could not find a response and were punished even further when Yaya Toure scored the third in the 90th minute. A hat-trick from Lionel Messi, including 2 penalties, saw Barcelona record a thrilling 4-3 win over Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. Barcelona's leading scorer struck 2 second-half spot kicks as the Catalan giants came from behind twice to win a pulsating encounter in the capital. Andres Iniesta's early goal was cancelled out by a pair of Karim Benzema strikes, and although Messi levelled before half-time a controversial Cristiano Ronaldo penalty put Real Madrid back in front. Sergio Ramos was then sent off for tripping Neymar, and Messi's first penalty restored parity.
India's 5-time world champion Vishwanathan Anand got back to his winning ways after clinching the candidates chess tournament to set up a world title clash against Magnus Carlsen later this year.
5-time world champion Vishwanathan Anand sealed the candidates tournament title with an effortless draw with Peter Schweider of Russia in the 14th and final round. Having won one of the strongest tournaments of recent times with 1 round to spare, Anand just didn't want anything to go wrong and went for the draw with white pieces that was for the taking. Playing the white side of a Marshall Gambit out of a Rui Lopez opening, Anand simply gave no chance to Schweidler. The pieces got exchanged at regular intervals as Schweidler also could do little, and in almost no time the players found themselves in a drawn minor piece endgame. The game lasted 34 moves. The Indian ace thus officially earned the right to a rematch with Magnus Carlsen of Norway. The bidding for Anand Carlsen 2 are now open, and FIDE, the apex chess body, will decide the awarding of this match after receiving all the bids by 30th April this year. The match will be held from 5th to 25th November. Anand ended the tournament on 8.5 points, a full point ahead of Karjakin, who finished a creditable second after a bad start. Kramnik, Andrikin and Mamediyarov finished joint third on 7 points apiece, while Aronian and Schweidler ended joint 6th on 6.5 points in all.
Well, that's all I have for you today. I'll be back next week with some more buzz on the circuit. Meanwhile, keep logging on to www.claysportsnow.com for more sports updates. Till then, goodbye.